A tornado was located near Reese, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning also now has been issued for portions of Anne Arundel and Howard County off to the south. So this signature pretty impressive right now, right outside of Reisterstown. That's why we're with you over towards Walnut Grove, up towards the Lawndale and Woodensburg area. We're getting winds out of this coming along portions of 91 and 32 back along portions of up there across portions of 140, now drifting up to the north, upwards of 60 miles per hour, 50 mile per hour gusts. We'll go back into the latest sampling, still at 72 miles per hour. This is knocking on the door of Pretty Boy Reservoir, just south of Upper Co, rolling into Pleasant Grove and Mantua. I want you to seek shelter immediately, lowest level of your home. If necessary, if you don't have the basement, of course the bathroom or the closet will work. And if you're in a car, you want to abandon it and find a sturdy structure such as a ditch or even a sturdy building to get into. Act immediately, crouch down and protect your head as we continue to see these gusty winds roll along. So you can see on the northern flank of this, we do have that tornado warning. All of our northern counties, northern Baltimore, northern Harford County, you're up next. And particularly, though, with the top half of the cell where the tornado warning is, if you're up and parked and up towards just north of the Harford zone, coming along portions of 136, even coming back off of Shawan Road into the back way of Hampstead, I want you to seek shelter immediately. This storm is rolling off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. So once again, Forreston, you're up next. Weisberg, you're up next. Tornado warning is going to go until 4 o'clock. Until 4 o'clock. Upper Co, it is right on top of you right now where we're seeing that notching feature coming into Pleasant Grove. Eventually Troyer, West Liberty, Shawsville along 136, back along the 23 corridor going out towards Falling Branch Brewing Company. You'll be up next for this as well, coming along 83 north up towards Maryland state line. So back into the velocity view, and this is what we're looking at. This is no good. This is no good. Tornado warning until 4 o'clock, right just south of Hampstead, right over Pleasant Grove and Woodensburg. Over Woodensburg and Pleasant Grove. We'll come in a little bit tighter here. Hopefully we can get some roads on here. If you're on Old Hanover Road, Dover Road, coming from Dover to Pleasant Grove, Phobelsburg right now looks pretty nasty, at least wind-wise of what we're seeing here on the board. Winds estimated on the tornado warning once again until 4. We'll take that off, and you'll be able to see the winds 60, 70 miles per hour in this area. We're getting that sampling upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour, and that is a problem. We'll go back over our traffic cameras, and you'll actually be able to see what's going on along Maryland 140 right now, and it's pretty much you can't see in front of you. That's how heavy the rain is coming down. You can see the wind whipping there a bit in the distance, bending some of those trees out there. A couple tractor trailers moving on through there. Winds likely gusting upwards of 40 to 50 miles per hour. But the worst of the storm is now up towards the Pleasant Grove area, up towards Pleasant Grove. If you're along Dover Road or Old Hanover Road, moving up towards Upper Co, back down to Pleasant Grove and over towards the Dover area, this signature shows these winds gusting upwards of 60, maybe even 70 miles per hour at best as the storm continues. Tornado warning is going to go until 4 o'clock. We'll get you back over to the traditional view, and we still have the tornado warning now mainly in portions of Baltimore County. So Pleasant Grove up towards Pretty Boy Reservoir, White House over towards the Harford zone. Harford zone now included in this. Nothing going on up towards Harford just yet. So you have time. You have time to get in your tornado safety area, probably about maybe 2, 3, 4 minutes here until this storm gets right up on top of you as it continues off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Weisberg, Walker, you're up next. You're not in the warning. You're not in the warning polygon, but still likely to see some problems here as this storm continues off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. We'll go out to a wider view and give everybody a bigger view of what's going on. If you're in Dundalk right now, over towards Edgemere, seeing some lightning back out towards the Edgemere area. A lot of lightning here with this storm. Not severe, but still likely to pose a problem with lightning along with gusty winds. Still dealing with severe thunderstorm warning in portions of Anne Arundel County. That will go until the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour, but the main area of concern seems to be north of the city of Baltimore. North of the city of Baltimore along I-83 northbound. I-83 northbound, seeing some big-time problems from Westminster over towards just west of Towson, out through Randallstown, Owings Mills, and Reisterstown. Once again, seeing some big-time problems here with severe thunderstorm warnings that will go right on up until the 4 o'clock hour. So Once again, the storm of concern that we continue to look at is this tornado warning that encompasses Forreston, Weisburg over towards Verona, along portions of Old Hanover Road as well as Belfast Road going back into Hampstead. This will go until 4 o'clock. Not seeing much of that notching feature. We can go back over to the traffic camera. This is up at York Road. Off of I-83 at York Road. And we're looking at the dark clouds there right on the edge of the screen. Not seeing too much movement there with the trees, nor rainfall just yet. But the storm is on its approach to this area, especially north of there, especially north of the I-83 York Road exit. North of that area is going to be the area that is impacted, basically from the Harford zone northbound up towards Maryland State Line. As you get just north of Shawan Road right now, and north of Belfast Road, are going to be seeing those problems as the storm continues on through. So tornado warning until 4 o'clock. Once again, if you're in Forreston, back along 137, headed into Hampstead, Pleasant Grove, Verona, I want you to seek shelter immediately. Same thing in Weisburg. I want you to take those tornado safety precautions as necessary. This is what we're seeing now. This is the problem area. We're getting a notching feature right around Mount Carmel along 137. Last year, of course, when we had all the rainfall, the bridge was out over here in Mount Carmel. So a lot of folks that know this area pretty well. Mount Carmel up towards Pretty Boy Reservoir, Pretty Boy Dam Road. Coming up there across portions of the reservoir over towards the Forreston area, we're seeing this notching feature, and we most likely may have some sort of rotation going on here at the moment from Mount Carmel up towards Pretty Boy and over towards the Evna area. If there is no rotation going on here at the moment, we're likely seeing gusty winds upwards of 60, 70, maybe even 80 miles per hour, and that's still likely to cause a problem in this area, even if we're not seeing a tornado possible. So I'm going to take these warnings off here real quickly. I want to give you the sampling of what we're seeing up here just south of Pretty Boy. You got 18 miles per hour and then you got 39. So there's a difference there of sorts that we're creating some problems, at least wind-wise, where we're getting winds most likely upwards of 57, 60 miles per hour coming on through here over towards Pretty Boy Reservoir. So there's I-83. This is 130, Maryland 137 up towards the Parkton area. Big drops of rain. The trees are starting to bend. The storm is now there. And you're seeing those trees starting to bend, those wind gusts once again, upwards of 40, 50, even 60 miles per hour. Better view of that. This is getting ready to come into the Harford zone. You can see it there on the camera. This is live on the camera, and this is live on the radar right now. A lot of white showing up. This is no good. When we get a signature this broad, most likely seeing a downburst of sorts with winds 60, 70 miles per hour coming into the Harford zone out through Verona over towards Cooperstown, along Belfast Road, along Shawan Road, even down towards Shawan Downs, over towards Western Run, up towards the Hunt Valley area. Broad circulation here and a broad spectrum of winds gusting upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour. We'll give you that sampling once again. So over there towards Coopersville, 67 miles per hour. Up here towards the Harford zone, 70 mile per hour winds. That's what we're seeing on the radar. That's what the radar is picking up here at the moment as those storms continue generally off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. We'll bring you back over to the traditional view. I'm going to check the Weather Service chat here just to make sure nothing has changed. And not seeing as much of a couplet anymore, which is good news. Going to have to watch on the back side, just north of Randallstown, getting some inflow into the back of this storm, which is going to try to pop it like a fulcrum and try to spin it around. So we may get a little bit of rotation out of that. But on the front end of this, there's a bullnose of wind that's getting ready to go into northern portions of Baltimore County. So not seeing anything different. Did get a little wind damage report there in Reese as of 3:37. Some trees down on Bollinger Road near Hook Road. This is from the same storm. Also some damage out towards the Sykesville area. Trees down on Route 32 near Raincliff Road. So a couple spots where we do have some trees down. And we'll go back to the traffic camera, and it looks pretty interesting there on I-83 at Maryland 137. The rain was coming down in the big drops. Now it kind of has let up, and you're seeing more of the wind action getting going. And that's before the bigger push of that rain shaft starts to move into the area and encompass it. And you'll be able to see, or actually hearing some rumbles of thunder now outside of our studio. So the storm is now on the horizon of Towson, but no tornado warning in Towson. It's off into the northern parts of Baltimore County. So back over to radar view, you can see the bullnose of this right now basically extends from Pretty Boy Reservoir just north of Cockeysville up towards the Wiseburg area along portions of 45, Old York Road, getting up towards West Liberty and up towards Maryland State Line and just south of Roller, Forreston, Pretty Boy Reservoir, over towards Western Run, Glencoe, and Sparks. Tornado warning now has been extended. This is going to go into northern portions of Harford County. So our friends up towards Street, back along portions of 147 as well as up there along 136 and 24, dumping back into portions of Fawn Grove along the line there, PA Maryland line, up towards the Norrisville area. I want you to seek shelter immediately. This tornado warning will be in progress. This will be in progress, and this will go until 4:30 p.m. So one cell of concern as it continues off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. We're going to take this off and we'll show you the track and location of where this is going. The worst of it right now, right around Wiseburg. It would bring it up towards the Amos Mill and Street area here. Amos Mill probably looking at 4:38 p.m. Fawn Grove at 4:51, and McDermott, that's on the other side of the PA line there, at 5 o'clock. Stablersville 410, Wiseburg, it's on top of you. Greystone, you're up next at 4:03 p.m. So anybody that is moving along 136, 23, I-83 north from Harford Zone, northbound up towards Maryland State Line, I want you to take your tornado safety precautions as necessary. I know a lot of these areas are very rural, but we're getting a good notching feature that is showing up here on the board. Right now, right around Wiseburg, over towards the Troyer area, over towards Troyer, we're seeing that circulation of development. So what we're looking at here is a broad circulation tornado warning once again for western portions of Baltimore County. That will go until 4 o'clock. Tornado warnings for eastern portions of Baltimore County, as well as northern portions of Harford County, including Federal Hill, Harkins, and Street, back up towards the Pilesville area. That will go until 4:30. That will go until 4:30 p.m. So the area of concern right now is right over the Harford zone, back up towards Wiseburg. Right here is where we're seeing some of that rotation, right around Wiseburg over towards the Harford zone. Once again, tornado warning until 4 o'clock. Storm's going to continue off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. So our friends in Shawsville, Troyer, and Amos Mill, I want you to seek your tornado safety precautions as necessary. Tornado safety precautions as necessary. If we could take Weather 2, and we'll get those tips up there for you of those tornado safety tips. Once again, we want you to act immediately. We want you to take shelter in the lowest level of your home, the basement or the bathroom. If you don't have either of those, of course, a closet will work. If in a car, abandon it. Find a ditch or a sturdy structure and put as many walls between you and the tornado as possible. Act immediately, crouch down, and of course protect your head. So right now we do have 2 tornado warnings on the board, one in western portions of Baltimore County, one in eastern portions of Baltimore County, one in northwestern sections of Harford County. That zone where we have it circled right there for you in Wiseburg, the camera right now outside really tells the story of what is plowing through that area right now just north of the Harford zone. As you get up towards Parkton, trees are bending, the water is coming down, and we do have a very powerful storm is what we're dealing with here, coming across portions of northern Baltimore County, going into portions of Harford County. Getting a few of those rumbles of thunder outside our studios right now. And a better view of this here on the radar is that's not good at all. We're seeing more of that white, and it's more of a compact area of it from Verona to Hereford up towards Troyer and Manor. And even out towards the Moncton area along the NCR trail up there towards Moncton, along portions of 45 and 138, and now 562 getting involved here, going back into the Shawsville area along 23. Some of these rural areas dealing with some big time problems. So winds estimated here on radar. We'll get that up there for you right there around the Hereford zone over towards Verona. Sparks and Glencoe, Sparks-Glencoe Road out there towards the Royal Farms. Most likely seeing these wind gusts upwards of 72 miles per hour coming on through this area. Even out towards the Hereford zone, 64 mile per hour gusts, and then you get out towards Sparks at 60 miles per hour. So some very gusty winds is what we're dealing with here as the storms continue on through the area. Now, tornado warnings will go until 4 o'clock on the western half of the county of Baltimore. And then on the eastern half of Baltimore County, we have the warning in place until 4:30 p.m. So wider view here shows what's going on. We do have that tornado warning off to the north. We'll give you a wide view and show you who's in and who's out. Basically, if you're out towards Carroll and Frederick County right now, it looks like the worst of the weather is over. Howard County, it looks like the worst of the weather is over. Montgomery County, worst of the weather is over. Showers and thunderstorms are still going to be likely this evening. We still have enough energy, at least for them to reach severe limits, but the tornado warning or the tornado threat should start to come to an end once this initial round of activity moves on through. So Baltimore City right now, out towards Glen Burnie, just south of Baltimore City over towards Brooklyn. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in place for portions of Anne Arundel County out towards Harold Harbor. This will go until 4:15 p.m. In the Glen Burnie area itself. Going to be keeping an eye on this storm. It's got an interesting signature to it around the Pasadena area. Looking at it, not seeing too much in the way of wind or even a little bit of rotation there. So that's some good news, but still going to be keeping an eye on that. The storm of concern is up here to the north, though. You can see there's a big blob of this white and pink that's showing up here on the radar velocity, and these winds are likely gusting 60, 70, maybe even 80 miles per hour. So Shepherd over towards Manor, out towards the Moncton area along the NCR Trail, up towards Jarrettsville, back along portions of 23, out across portions of 24. I want you to seek shelter immediately. This is no good. This is no good when we start to see winds that look like this. So severe thunderstorm warning, Jarrettsville, Sharon, High Point, and Rutledge. That will go until 4:30. That will go until 4:30. We'll take these off again, and we'll give you the sampling of the winds. Still getting gusts, 66 miles per hour between Troyer and Manor. If you're moving along 23, if you're moving along 136 or 83 northbound or Old York Road from Verona, the Harford zone up towards Weisburg, back in the northern portions of Baltimore County, we want you to take the tornado safety precautions as necessary. If we can head over to that traffic camera there on York Road, it is really coming down at this point. These are big droplets of rain. You can see how reduced the visibility is, there in the distance. You basically cannot really see too far in front of you. So you're going to want to slow it down if you are driving out there. And also the trees not leaning as much. So that's some good news, at least there on York Road, that we're not seeing too much in the leaning of those branches, but still want to be precautionary here. And we want you to take those tornado safety precautions as necessary. All of the walls around you, because these winds are pretty gusty and they are picking up upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour. I want to check one thing that we usually don't show here on the radar too much. Debris tracker. And not seeing too much here, at least debris tracker wise. We're getting more in the way of solid red, which is good news. Usually if we see a little bit of orange or yellow mixed in solid pockets of red, that's when we know that there's something flying in the sky. Looking for hail, not seeing too much of that, so that's some good news. And then looking at the updraft itself, not seeing too much in the way of the purple or the white, so that's also some good news there, even though the tornado warning will continue until 4:30. For northern sections of Baltimore County and really most of northern portions of Harford County. So we'll go back over here. It looks like the worst of it is starting to settle down in northern portions of Baltimore County, but you get up here just north of Jarrettsville, along portions of 23 up towards the Federal Hill area, along 165 back into Street at the traffic circle. As you take that traffic circle out the Highs gas station over towards Pilesville, and then you go over towards Slate Farm Brewery there in Whiteford, and go back out along portions of 24 up towards Kilgore Falls, the church there on the corner, and then dumping back into Fawn Grove, going up towards Stewartstown. You're underneath a tornado warning that will go until 4:30 p.m. The worst of the storm right now is right around the Jarrettsville area, back up towards Shawsville, Ivory Mill, along portions of 136 going into Harkins, the old way from Harkins along 136 dumping out towards Maryland State Line and coming up towards Stewartstown. You will be impacted by this tornado warning once again until 4:30 p.m. So look here on the radar velocity, at least the tornado mode, and we're seeing just that brighter pocket of reds and pinks right around Troyer and Moncton, back out towards Jarrettsville. This will be moving along 23, most likely a good blast of wind upwards of 40, 50, 60 miles per hour. And then you get up here around West Liberty, north of Shawsville, just south of Amos Mill, along 23, coming up into the Norrisville area. Going to be seeing a little bit of that broad rotation showing up. A better view of this shows right around Shawsville over to Troyer, still getting those gusts upwards of 40, 50, even 60 miles per hour. So we continue to see the severe thunderstorm warning until 4:30 outside of that tornado warning. Worst of it now coming through Glencoe. There's the view up towards the traffic circle at the Highs gas station. You go south along portions of 24. That will take you to Rock State Park. You go east, coming back off of the traffic circle towards Pilesville, and then you go north along 24. That will take you up towards Fawn Grove, as well as up towards Kilgore Falls there. Very rural area, a lot of farm fields. Maryland 165, you can see pretty impressive clouds here. Another view of some of those clouds. Look at that, very impressive cumulus build up there, and it's very water loaded. We have a lot of action going on in the skies above us. Not a lot of wind shear, but still just enough to cause us some problems, and also some problems with very heavy rainfall as these storms come through. And they're also very electrified, and that's because of all that heat and humidity that's built up over the last couple of days. We can't stress it enough. When you hear the thunder roar, we want you to bring the activities indoors, or when you see the flash, of course, it is time to dash indoors as well with all this lightning that's going on with some of these storms. So we're going to take these warnings off. I want to show you the winds once again. Troyer Manor up towards the Jarrettsville area, still getting gusts 60, 70 miles per hour. This is moving up there across portions of 156 up there at the traffic circle on Highs gas station. If you're in Pilesville, north of Falling Branch Brewing Company, north of Street, of course, you're going to be running into problems going up towards Kilgore Falls and then eventually dumping out into portions of southern PA. If we can go back over to that traffic over there, Maryland 24 at Jarrettsville Road. Very impressive structure of the clouds there in the distance. You can see a little bit of the shelf action as the front end of the storm comes through. The cooler air is being bent around the front end of the storm, and it creates that rolled look, or what we call a shelf cloud, as this pushes up towards Jarrettsville. Most likely going to get a good blast of wind, and then eventually the rain's going to come in along with the lightning. But a very ominous and scary looking view there in Jarrettsville right now. So seek shelter immediately. Lowest level of your home, basement, bathroom, or innermost closet. We continue to hear the thunder here at the studio as the storms continue to roll on through. So wide view here on radar once again shows that we have the storm up here across portions of Harford County, Baltimore County, going to be rolling into northern sections of Cecil County. Severe thunderstorm warning up there, northern sections of Cecil County. That will include rising sun. And then we have the storm off here to the south. That's down into portions of northern Anne Arundel County. This has blown up on the eastern side of the city along portions of 40, getting out towards Chaps, Pit Beef, through the Orangeville area, going to be rolling up towards Middle River along 43 and 150, dumping out towards Martin State Airport. Right now around Riviera Beach, over towards Brooklyn, now through the Edgemere area. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning that will go until the bottom of the hour as well. This is getting through portions of Dundalk. It's a light show again. Monday until 4:15 here, severe thunderstorm warning, southern portions of Baltimore City, as well as portions of northern Anne Arundel County, We'll go back into a wider view, and we'll show you once again. You can see off to the south, down towards Annapolis, lower eastern shore, not much. Same thing over in Ocean City, not much. Some storms now starting to flare in southern portions of Maryland. But the main concern is up here to our north, right now in Jarrettsville, over towards, back up towards the Norrisville area, Amos Mill, along portions of 136, 156 coming out of Pilesville, over there towards the Highs gas station, rolling up towards Peach Bottom and Fawn Grove. You're going to be looking at some problems here. Right now, right around Amos Mill is where we're seeing that center of circulation. Federal Hill also getting some of that in portions of Harford County along 165 coming out of Jarrettsville going north, and along 23 we're getting that pocket of wind that is now showing up, and that'll be rolling up towards the Street and Whiteford area. Tornado warning until 4:30 p.m. So checking the Weather Service chat, not seeing anything different, not seeing any damage reports either. Tornado warning still remains for portions of Harford County until 4:30. The warning has now been allowed to expire for Baltimore County, but still have the warning in place for Harford County until 4:30. storm capable of producing a tornado was located near Jarrettsville, or 15 miles southeast of Red Line, moving northeast now at 50. So this has got some speed to it. It has some speed to it as it continues to move off to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning also in place for the surrounding area around this warning. That will go until 4:30 as well, with possible tornado text, but it looks like the worst of the storm is now in portions of Harford County. In fact, right over Jarrettsville is where we're seeing the worst of that storm. And we're getting those wind gusts, once again, measuring here upwards of 50, 60, even 70 miles per hour. So 74 mile per hour gusts there right in Jarrettsville, right along the 165 corridor. We're getting those winds continuing the gusts. We'll go back over to the camera, and you can see now it's starting to shake a little bit. Now it's starting to shake a little bit there along Maryland 24 at Jarrettsville Road. And this most likely is the instance here of the wind starting to get into this area. The ominous dark clouds have started to disappear, though, but don't let that fool you. Of course, we're going to be seeing those winds likely estimated here 60, 70 miles per hour. We have to watch here because the radar beam, once we get into northern portions of Harford County, is up a little bit higher as the radar comes out of the Washington, D.C. site there at Reagan International Airport. So the radar most likely still getting those winds gusting 50, 60, 70 miles per hour, but still going to be seeing those problems if there is no tornado here to talk about. Up to the north, still getting those 75 mile per hour gusts. Same thing coming up towards Street. So watch out, in particularly if you're coming out of Rock State Park right now up towards Fern Cliff, rolling over towards Street, and then getting up towards Fawn Grove, up towards the Fawn Grove area. So we'll put this back in a traditional view, and you can see the worst of the storm right now from Jarrettsville back up towards Amos Mill, over towards Fawn Grove. Going to be coming in south of Peach Bottom, and this will carry us over also into across portions of the Delta area. Once again, going to get smacked here with some of those heavier showers and storms. Another cell now has flared up. We'll see if this gets warned just south of Perry Hall. Our folks out here, Essex, Rosedale, getting out towards Middle River and over towards Gunpowder Falls State Park. I hope nobody is out here on a kayak today in the bay. I want you to bring it indoors. We have a lot of lightning out here as the storms continue to race off to the east at 35 miles per hour. So most of the severe thunderstorm warning is out across the area. Portions of Anne Arundel County, it has been moved out of there. It's now into portions of eastern Baltimore County. But the worst of the weather now up here to the north. It looks like that tornado warning has been canceled now for northern portions of Harford County. I want to give one last check of that. We'll give you one last inspection before we send you back over to programming. Tornado warning has been allowed to expire for Harford County, so that is some good news, but still likely getting a good burst of wind. Our folks up here at Jarrettsville, I want you to take precautions as necessary because we're still seeing wind gusts here in the Jarrettsville area, upwards of 60, 70 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning until 4:30. Wider view, and then we'll send you back over. You can see those storms lined up from Harford County all the way down into Anne Arundel County. Looks like the worst of it is now done, Carroll, as well as portions of Howard, Montgomery, and Frederick County. But watch out, Harford, as well as Cecil and portions of the northern eastern shore here in the next hour or so as severe thunderstorms continue off to the east, northeast at 35 to 40 miles per hour. We'll have an update of your forecast and more coming up at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. For now, stay safe out there and continue to stay weather aware.
That's right. Yeah, we put Taylor on our first tour, and Blake Shelton, and Jason Aldean, and Luke, and all
Conway Twitty.
Yeah.
Took him out when he was at the start.
He doesn't know who that is.